All right, y'all go ahead and unfollow me for this, but you need to hear this. Boots on the ground challenge ain't for children. I'm sorry, I've been seeing these little girls thrusting in the air, moving their body and moving their pelvis and shaking their butt online, and some of y'all need attention and you're using your child to get it. Let me go ahead and tell you this real quick. I'm gonna give you some real ism because I don't care about you disliking me. You got to know this. You got to understand this. No disrespect to this family, no disrespect to these children, but a little girl dancing in her pajamas online is so far from being right, and we think that is nothing's wrong with it now. It's scary. It's scary because this is not cute. This is sexy to a pervert. Let's talk about it.
Now you know doggone well you shouldn't have that baby on there jiggling and gyrating. She can't even buy her own pack of panties and she's sitting here throwing it in the circle and where them fans at? No, where them books at? Y'all get these babies off the internet.
I'm not gonna like what I'm finna say, but I'm finna say it. I do not like how y'all got them little girls doing that boots on the ground challenge. Everything is not meant for little kids, man, especially little girls. I don't want my little girl popping her fan and popping her.
I'm getting ready to jump on the bandwagon on this boots on the ground situation when it comes to the kids, man. That's totally off limits. Totally. That is a well-known adult dance, and it's okay in the privacy of your home. You know, I guess your kids can join in or whatever, but when you get to posting it online, man, them babies doing all that provocative moving and all that other stuff, man, that is totally out of bounds. Totally. If you know how the world works, you'll know better not to do that. You know, and unfortunately, we have pedophiles in our universe that, man, that preys on that type of behavior. So all the parents that's allowing that type of stuff to go down, man, please get rid of those videos and don't post them. You can do it in the privacy of your home, but I wouldn't recommend that you post it online, man, because that's just a terrible look, you know? And you know what comes with that. So just be careful out here, man. Love the dance, love the movement, everything, man, but it's not for kids. It's not for kids. I'm WAP. Y'all be good. Peace.
I'm not gonna like what I'm finna say, but I'm finna say it. I do not like how y'all got them little girls doing that boots on the ground challenge. Everything is not meant for little kids, man, especially little girls. I don't want my little girl popping her fan and popping her hips nowhere around no grown men, because let's be real, that's where it's happening at. Sometimes we just gotta let kids be kids. Y'all be letting kids grow up way too fast. Then when somebody with logical sense speak on it, y'all try to attack.
Alright guys, I was watching TikTok and you know that song, You Got Your Boots on the Ground? So I saw the guy talking about how you shouldn't want your little girls to be singing and dancing and gyrating to those songs. And I agree with him. I be seeing these little girls young, swishing them hips back and forth, child, gyrating around like a grown woman should be moving her hips. Yeah, certain things is not made for kids. Certain things is just not made for kids. Because you know what? You got a lot of perverts out here. You got a lot of those perverts that is fetishizing that. These perverts are fetishizing those little G-words. You can't put everything out here, like he was saying, everything out here is not for children. A little girl, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, should not be shaking her hips back and forth like that. Shoot, my daughter 13, and I wish she would act like she wanted to twerk. Because really, me as a woman, as a mother, I don't do none of that stuff in front of my children. I never have. I never walked around in the house with skimpy clothes on. I didn't wear Daisy Dukes around my kids. I just don't do certain things around my children. And my daughter she'll be 13 this summer. Some things is not meant for little girls to be doing. And if you're 4 and 5 years old, the little girl, I saw a video, I guess it was her mother was introducing, and the little girl had her tongue stuck out like, she had her tongue stuck out like, I'm like, no, that's all wrong.
So there's this song, right, called Boots on the Ground, and there's a dance to it, and little girls were participating in it. and men came out to say something about, look at the problem that these young girls are being sexualized. Let me tell you something. Let me ask you something. How do you sexualize this dance? Because I watched the dance and I watched the little girls doing it, right? And guess what? There was nothing sexual about this dance at all. Okay? Nothing. Are y'all really talking about the part where it looked like dang near a stanky leg? Really? And if you're looking at children that way, there's something wrong with you, fam. Okay? Let me give you a little scripture. Titus 1:15. To the pure, all things are pure. But to those who are corrupted and do not believe, nothing is pure. In fact, both their minds and sciences are corrupted. Get y'all mind out of a dark place with your predatory behinds.
Y'all not gonna like what I'm finna say, but I'm finna say it. I do not like how y'all got them little girls doing that boots on the ground challenge.
You're not going to like what I have to say, and that's completely okay with me. I could care less, but it has to be said. Start making videos calling out the predators. Far too many times people get on here talking about what they don't want to see coming from innocent children rather than what they don't want to see coming from predatory adults. And I'm about tired of it, to be honest with you. This little girl is imitating what she sees her mother and maybe her aunties and grandmothers and friends doing. The problem that I have with this gentleman's take is not that he's not putting out a good message. Yes, there are people out here that are watching children, but the problem that I have is that you chose to direct your concern towards the child and the mother rather than directing your concern to your peers, adults. Talk to the adults that are predatorial, because this child is doing nothing but enjoying a dance with her mother. The other thing that really bothered me was that out of everything that amazing that this little girl did in that line dance, knowing the proper cues to do the step over, out and back, something that a lot of adults are struggling to get. Don't listen. I struggle with that part too sometimes. But the fact that she knows how to do that part, you looked right over that. The fact that she understands how to catch all the choreography, you all looked right over that. You calling out the mother when the mother is simply just sharing some moments with her and her daughter and getting some notoriety while they doing it, going viral while they doing it. I applaud the mother for not confusing her daughter by telling her, go ahead and sit down, take you and your little fan and go sit down somewhere.
Not like how y'all got them little girls doing that boots on the ground challenge.
I totally agree with you. I agree with you 1,000%. Nowadays, these parents are not letting their kids be kids. Like everything you see on TikTok, every TikTok challenge that you see on TikTok, your kids have no business doing. Nowadays, it's just putting subliminal messaging out there for perverts to look at your kid a certain way. Yeah, you might not intend for that to happen, but it happens. Stop doing that. Let kids be kids.
So I was sent that boots on the ground video where that man basically replied and was trying to warn mothers about their exposing their daughters to the internet and doing inappropriate dances. And he was like, there's predators out there. And a lot of women are upset about it, saying, you need to be talking to the men. You need to be talking to the men. You don't need to be talking to us. They need to not be on the internet. They need to da 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 da. As someone who works in media, who had to read through court documents of these predators, let me tell you something. There is nothing a man on the internet can do about a predator. He can only deal with them as such, right? Predators are going to be there. They're not going anywhere because they hide in silence. They hide behind professions. They hide behind their degrees. They hide inside of their homes. They hide as family men. They hide as husbands, sons, boyfriends. They hide, okay? There is no talking to a predator because they are sick mentally. So for you to get on to other men saying, talk to the predators, nobody wants to talk to predators because there is no talking to them because they're mentally ill. But us as mothers, our job is to protect our children, not just our daughters, but our children in general from predators. There is no stopping them other than when you find out what they did and then you do, like, let the law deal with them. And even the law don't deal with them the way the law needs to deal with them. Because I feel like once you're a predator, you need to be locked away forever and never have a chance to register as anything. You need to just be locked away forever. There is no giving you another chance out here in society, which you are deemed a predator. But these men are trying to tell you how, as men, other men, they know other men. Y'all don't know other men. Y'all want to get mad at other men for not checking those men. They're telling you we can't check those men. They not changing. But we can change our behavior and be aware and protect our children. I couldn't have no daughter. I have 2 sons. And let me tell you, if I had a daughter, y'all wouldn't even see her on the internet. I wouldn't even post her. I wouldn't date. I would be just like, I can't even imagine having a daughter because of just the things that I've seen, the things that I have read, the police documents, the details of how these predators move and how strategic they are. And you have men on the internet opening up and telling you and warning you, hey, this is how your little girls are being viewed. These predators move in silence. They may not comment, they may not like, but they're watching. And they're energetically doing something while they are watching your baby. Y'all don't think like that. They're doing things behind closed doors energetically to your baby. And y'all mad at the men for saying, well, don't tell us what to do. We can tell our daughters to wear crop tops and dance and shake their butts and do all these things. And y'all just shouldn't look. Yeah, in an ideal world. I wish we lived in a world like that. I wish we lived in a world where there were no predators. But that is not reality. We got to start protecting them better.
I'm seeing a lot of men talking about the boots on the ground challenge with the little girls. And I feel like the dance as a whole is not an inappropriate dance for children. It is a dance trend. I don't feel like it's inappropriate. I feel like where it comes inappropriate is when by the little girls mocking the grown women with the grinding and the groping, you know, that kind of, those movements are making the dance inappropriate. If the little girls were learning and did learn the male version of the boots on the ground challenge, I feel like it wouldn't be nothing to talk about because it'll just be another dance. But I absolutely, totally agree that the little girls are mocking the older women with the boots on the ground challenge. Because I love seeing the little girls do it. It's cute. But that it is very uncomfortable and it shouldn't be them rolling and, you know, doing the little parts to the song. They should learn the male version of the song, my opinion.
I think it's just inappropriate. I don't understand, especially my generation, like, doing that. Like, I think we need to stop. You need to let kids be kids. Granted, in the black community, especially, is a lot of promiscuity, a lot of stuff that we're just, like, cultured around, but it needs to stop. It really does. And I can go on and on and on, which I did. I made this video like 3 times, and I went on and on and on about how we need to, like, basically check our culture. But I'm not going to do that. I'm really going to stick to this. I'm going to try to stick to this topic as much as possible. But it really be bothering me because it mainly be the black community. It mainly be the black people that be, I would say, doing the most. Like, we all be doing the most. As somebody who came out of that when I came to God, I just look at it. Like, why are we having girls twisting their hips, moving their bodies like they grown adults?
I do not like how y'all got them little girls doing that boots on the ground challenge.
And you want to know what's crazy about what he's saying? Somebody's going to say he's the problem. He's going to get called a pedophile. Somebody is going to say that he should mind his eyes and he's the problem. When in reality, we have blurred the lines, completely blurred the lines between adult activities and children's activities. At this point, children, there's no distinction. There's no distinction. And that's the problem. And he is absolutely right. And I would make a comment about these prom videos that I'm seeing, but it's fine. It's okay. It's fine. I'm going to keep my comments to myself because I ain't got kids.
I keep seeing the boots on the ground discourse about the little baby doing the dance or little girl doing the dance. And nothing is wrong with the dance that she's doing. Y'all are sexualizing children. Well, little girl children to be exact. Because y'all don't be doing none of this when little boys be tripping out. And that dance is literally like you're pumping the air. Not saying that nothing is wrong with that dance either, because nothing is wrong with it. But y'all only do this to little baby girls or girl children. Cut it out. Say something to the predators or the people who sexualize the children instead.
I'm not gonna like what I'm finna say, but I'm finna say it. I do not like how y'all got them little girls doing that boots on the ground challenge.
Something I want to talk to y'all about, and I know some gonna say I'm wrong, some gonna say I'm right. I really don't care. Let these kids be kids. You know that song, boots on the ground, and they slinging a fan and they slinging the hips? I'm seeing so many little girls. I'm talking about little girls, like toddler girls, going famous for slinging their hips and slinging a fan. Look, y'all need to let kids be kids. I know y'all done probably heard this 1,000,001 times, but y'all need to let kids be freaking kids. It's so many predators out here. It's so many men out here looking at these little kids and they slinging their hips and they slinging a fan. And y'all think they're going famous for slinging that fan and slinging their hip. Them men probably looking at them dang on kids. There's a lot of creeps out here, y'all. I was SA'd and molested at a young age. So that's the reason I'm saying it, but it starts in the family. I don't care what nobody say. SA and molestation starts in family. I don't care what nobody say. Nobody gonna maybe change my mind, but y'all need to let kids be kids. Look, I'm crying. I don't even know. I just got a tear coming out of my eyes. When I say let the kids be kids, slanging the fan and the hip. At a young age, I'ma say 16 or better should be slang it, cause slang a fan or slang a hip or something like that. I really didn't want to say older than that, but I already know y'all gonna say, these are kids, we do what we want, you right. But I'm just making y'all aware that it's a lot of creeps out here. It's a lot of men out here that ain't looking at that fan. They looking at their hip slanging. And they like, oh, we gonna keep going on this page. They ain't looking at that fan. Opening up and slanging this way. They ain't looking at that. They looking at their hip. And the youngest I've seen do the boots on the ground challenge is like 4 years old. No, she was 7 years old. She between 4 and 7. And she's going viral, cute little girl. But I just think y'all need to let kids be kids. That boots on the ground is not for children. That's for adults. I'm sorry. And I seen somebody looking at it at I think it was a bank. I'm at a bank right now. See, I seen a guy looking at it at the bank, and he was like, "That young girl slinging her hip." I told y'all, they not looking at no fan. They looking at the hips. So y'all need to let kids be kids and chill out with the boots on the ground challenge. Like I said, I know y'all gonna say I'm wrong. I know some gonna say I'm right. I know some gonna say that, But yes, let kids be kids. And that boots on the ground challenge is not for children. That is not for children. I don't care how you put it, how you run it, how you say it. Boots on the ground challenge is not for children. Cause I'm telling y'all, these creeps out here watching all that. Slanging that. Hip, slanging it, cause baby, they ain't looking at the fan. They ain't looking at the fan. Trust me, they not. They looking at the hip slanging. And I just don't think boots on the ground for kids, that's just my opinion. You know everybody gonna feel how they feel, but that boots on the ground, not for kids, sorry. No go. That's a no go.
I absolutely hate chiming in any type of discourse like this. I've seen people talk about how like the boots on the ground challenge is too grown for that little girl, Miss Shirley, a little baby toddler to be doing. And I have a controversial take. Nothing a child can do can be considered grown. Like, I'm being serious. Like, nothing they do can be considered grown. Even whenever people label teenagers as grown or like fast, they're being teenagers. Like, that's a way a teenager would act. In the way they are acting grown, they are acting their age. They're emulating what they think an adult would do. And it is very apparent they're emulating what an adult would do and not actually acting like an adult. Little Miss Shirley is doing her Little Miss Shirley dance. She's a baby. She's a little baby. She's doing her little baby dance. And I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see nothing wrong with it. But like, genuinely, no matter what a child does, like, I will go as far as to say, like, people before you get to the age of 25, people can act in a way that they think an adult would act, but it is very, very apparent that the way they think an adult would act is from a child or an immature viewpoint. You know what I mean?